Hi, good afternoon. These notes are on distance of on the coordinate plane, and this is page 50 of our notebook. So if you open up on the inside of your notes, we have some rules that we need to write down. So if points lie in the same quadrant, you're going to subtract their absolute values. If they lie in different quadrants, you're going to add their absolute values. And the way that you can think about it is like on a number line. So if you are on a number line and you are on opposite sides of 0, what you do to get their distance is you find the absolute value of the left side, find the absolute value of the right side, and then you add their distances together. And we're going to do the same thing on the coordinate plane. So we're going to look at this figure right here. This graph goes along with these 2 points. So negative 4, 3, negative 4, 3 is right here. And then negative 4, negative 1 is right here. So we're looking at these 2 points right here, and we want to know what their distance is. First of all, if we go ahead and decide if it's the same or different quadrants, then we can use the rule above. So looking at this, negative 4, 3 is in quadrant 2. Negative 4, negative 1 is in quadrant 3. So they are in different quadrants. And then we can look at our rule. Different quadrants tell us to add. So then we're going to know that we add their absolute values. So the distance is, well, the distance here is 1, 2, 3. So absolute value of 3 plus the absolute value of 1, or negative 1, excuse me. And that gives us a total of, well, absolute value of 3 is 3, absolute value of negative 1 is 1, and 3 plus 1 is 4. Another way to think about it is just count your points, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's your distance. The reason why this doesn't always work is what if I gave you the points negative 50, 27, and negative 50, 43? You're going to want to know the rules in case there are points that don't fit on a graph. All right, the next points are 2, 1, and 2, 5. So if we find our points, 2, 1, and 2, 5, we're going to use these right here. So are they in the same quadrant or different quadrants? Well, looks like they're both in quadrant 1. So we are in the same quadrant, and same tells us to subtract. So we're going to find their absolute values. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. And we're going to subtract. And the absolute value of 1 is 1. And 5 minus 1 is 4. So what we looked at really in both of these problems were the points that were different. And we decided, are they in the same quadrant? No. So since they're in different quadrants, we added their absolute values. And then here, these are in the same quadrant because they're both positive. And so we subtracted. So absolute value of 5 minus absolute value of 1, and then we got 4. Another thing, again, you can just count the distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now we're going to use this graph to find the distances between each points. When the graph is given, I just count. When the points are given, that's when I use the rule. So let's just go ahead and count these. So E and G is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My distance is 5. A and I, I'm just going to connect those all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then go ahead and do the rest, and I'll fill those answers in just a second. But these are pretty easy because all you're doing is just counting the distance from one to the other. Okay, so I'll put those answers in just a second. All right, down here, without using a graph, we're going to find the distance between the points. So we do have to use our rules up here. So down here, we have to find what's different. So what is different is our x value, so we're going to use those. We know that they lie in the same quadrant because it's positive, negative, positive, negative. So what we're going to do is, since they're in the same quadrant, we're going to subtract. So the absolute value of 11 minus the absolute value of 7 equals 4. This problem, the coordinates that are different are our y coordinates. If you look at the points, this is positive, positive, and that's positive, negative. So we know they're in different quadrants. So if they're in different quadrants, we're going to add. So add their absolute values. So we're going to add the absolute value of 4 plus the absolute value of negative 8. Absolute value of 4 is 4, plus the absolute value of negative 8 is 8, and 4 plus 8 is 12. All right, let's do another one. So again, look at what's different. So their x values are different, their y values are the same. So we're finding the distance between the 8 and the 5. Since 8 and 5 are in the same quadrant, we're going to subtract. So subtract the absolute value of 8 minus the absolute value of 5. Absolute value of 8 is 8. Absolute value of 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. All right, over here, look what's different. The x values are the same. The y values are different. So circle those. So what we're going to do with the y values, because they are different, we're going to add their absolute values. So the absolute value of negative 6 plus the absolute value of 5. Absolute value of negative 6 is 6. Absolute value of 5 is 5. 6 plus 5 is 11. All right, right here, what's the same? Our x values. What's different? Our y values. Now we have to decide, are they in the same quadrant or different quadrants? These are in different quadrants, so we're going to add. Add the absolute value of 2 plus the absolute value of negative 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. All right, and then last one. Find what's different. The x value, the x coordinates are different, so that's what we're going to compare. Looks like they are in different quadrants because that's positive and that's negative. And so we're going to add their absolute values. Okay. All right. These next questions are talking about total distance, so you actually have 2 parts to do. So we look at what's different. So these two are different from each other. Negative 2 to positive 4 is a distance of what? So to get the distance, you add their absolute values. And absolute value of 2 is 2, absolute value of 4 is 4, and that gives me 6. And then from this point, we have to figure out this distance. What's different here is the x values. 7 and 5 have a difference of 2. So we have 6 and 2, and 6 plus 2 gives me 8. All right, and then last one. The total distance from negative 5, 4 to 2, 5. Well, from negative 4 to positive 2, that's a total distance of 6. And then 2, 5 to 2, 3, what's different is the y values, and to get from 5 to 3 is 2. And 6 plus 2 gives me 8. Okay. Earlier I said I was going to give you these answers, so let me go ahead and give those to you. So J to B is 11. H and K is 6. M and L is 4. D and H is 12. C, K is 6. And G, C is 11. All right. What you're going to do next is you're going to practice on this side for your distance. I'm going to go ahead and put the answers up in just a second. So if you will go ahead and pause the video, and then you can check your work momentarily. All right. Here are the answers for the right side. So just pause the video whenever you need. If you have a question or I made a mistake, just let me know and put a comment at the bottom of the video. With these, there were multiple movements, so you had to find the difference here and then the difference from here to here. Same for this one, you had to find the difference here to here and then go to here, and then same for here. So that's why I have some math going on down at the bottom. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you guys tomorrow.